Hello, my name is Elise, and today I'm presenting an HL7 to FHIR integration. First off, I'm going to start my Docker container, which I am running the project out of. Once that is finished, I can now access the IRIS portal. From here, navigate to Interoperability, FHIR Demo Namespace, Configure, Production. You'll see my production is running. I am going to add a service. The service class will be enslib.hl7.service.fileservice. Service name, HL7 inbound file service. Display category, FHIR presentation. Enable now selected. Next, I am adding a business process. The process class is hs.local.fhir.hl7 to SDA process. The process name, FHIR.hl7 to SDA1. Display category, FHIR presentation. Enable now selected. You'll see this component isn't running, so I'm going to add the custom code onto the server. In VS Code, I must first connect to the server. I'm going to name it FHIR presentation. No description. Localhost as the host name. My port number. No path or prefix. Underscore system as my username. And HTTP as the connection type. It is going to have me sign in. Once signed in, I can access the namespace I wish to add the code to. In this case, I am adding to the FHIR demo namespace. I need to ensure that I add the code to the same place I configured the business process to, which was HS, followed by local, followed by FHIR. As you can see, I need to manually add the FHIR folder. Now I can add the custom class, which we called HL7 to SDA process.cls. This class needs to use custom code, which I will copy-paste from a file on my computer. Once I have copied the code over, I will Control-Save, which will compile and update the code on the server. Refreshing the production shows the process now works. Next, I am going to add another process. The process class is hs.fhir.dtl.util.hc.sda3.fhir.process. The name is the same but with a 1 at the end. Display category, FHIR presentation, enable now selected. I will also add a business operation. The operation class is hs.fhirserver.interop.operation. The name will be default. Display category, FHIR presentation, enable now selected. Now, I will configure the settings of the service. I will set the file path to /irisdata/FHIR-presentation-inbound and the target config names to FHIR.hl7 to SDA1. Click Apply. The FHIR.hl7 to SDA1 process settings will be configured to have the patient ID location as PID:3.1 and for the target config names to select the other process. The other process settings will have the target config names set to the operation. The transmission mode will be transaction. The FHIR metadata set will be HL7 V40/FHIR-R4 core specification. The FHIR endpoint will be /CSP/healthshare/FHIR-demo/FHIR/R4. In the development and debugging settings, the log trace events will be selected, with the trace operations set to full. Click Apply. Now I will move on to the operations settings. This will also have log trace events selected and trace operations set to full. As you can see, the service is erroring. This is because the specified file path doesn't exist yet. Over in VS Code, in the Data Durable folder, we will add a folder called FHIR-presentation-inbound. Save. And refresh the production to show that the service is working again. One more operation must be added with the hs.util.trace.operations class and the Enable Now selected. Back in the Management portal, select Health and FHIR Configuration. Log in. Then go to Server Configuration to add a FHIR endpoint. The core package will be 4.0.1, the additional package 3.1.0, the strategy class set to hs.firserver.storage.json.interaction_strategy, and the URL as /csp/healthshare/firedemo/fire/or4. Click Add. This will take a few moments. Navigate back to production so that we can begin testing. In VS Code, I will copy a sample ADT-A01 message and paste it into the inbound folder. As you can see, it will disappear. In production, we can select the service and head to the Messages tab. Clicking the message header will pull up a visual trace. Select the request and click the Contents tab. Here we can view the actual FHIR bundle that was sent to the local FHIR server. Back in the visual trace, click the response to show that the status was successful. Copy the FHIR bundle from the Content tab without including the tags, and head to the website validator.fhir.org where we can test out validating the FHIR bundle. First, click the Options menu and select FHIR version 4.0.1 with the implementation guide HL7.FHIR.us.core, version 3.1.0. Back in the Validate, paste the JSON and click the button. Results will appear showing errors, warnings, and info. Let's test another message. Refreshing the production will load the message we just sent. As you can see, this one triggered a bunch of alerts. Clicking each alert will allow you to read the text stating what happened. Checking the response shows that it was still successful. Let's copy the FHIR bundle and try it out in the validator. This one caused more warnings. Now let's see what happens with an ORU message. Refresh the production again and head to the visual trace to see if it was successful. With the validator, we see that this one triggered quite a bit more results. Now let's change up some of the production settings. In this process, change the transition mode to individual and click Apply. Then test it out. As you can see in the visual trace, it now sends each FHIR resource as an individual request instead of as a bundle. Let's go ahead and change the setting back. Let's head to Postman and see if we can query back the message in our FHIR server. I'm going to do a GET request using HTTP, localhost, my port number, and the FHIR endpoint. I am querying for a patient ID equal to 12345. I have a header to accept application FHIR plus JSON. Authorization is set to basic auth with the username and password. As you can see, the params reflect the query. Go ahead and send. It has a status of 200, and it sent back the 3 bundles linked to the ID. Thank you for watching. Today's production was brought to you by Lead North.